Woo! Hey guys, today I'm going to talk about the creation of my character, Doodlez. A lot of people have asked me like where I came up with the idea to do the makeup and the character, and it's kind of a long journey, so if you want to stick around and be on this journey with me, then hop in. Here we go. So this character was not born on TikTok. I created it a long time ago and slowly morphed her into the art piece she is today. Doodlez is a clown character I use in various haunts and horror conventions. I first began using the character during a haunted attraction I built called Trash TV. The area was filled with TV monsters that I built, and trippy lighting and effects and all that cool stuff. The entrance to that area was my favorite part. I had built like this crazy entryway, where I had these lights that were making the stuff look like it was moving, but it wasn't. And, I had these big painted murals and trash everywhere and mannequin heads. It looked pretty wild and it was so much fun. I used to just do white face paint and a messy mouth drawn over it. It was honestly terrible and sloppy. I had minimal experience with makeup, and before then I pretty much just focused on being a haunt photographer, not helping with sets or anything. I used to help my dad with electrical work and some building a wall, but nothing crazy, and definitely not acting. But I decided to give it a whirl. I had acted as a zombie. I guess that that kind of counts, but I didn't have to talk. When you act as a zombie, you just kind of roam around and you're and people are like, "Oh my god, oh no, there's a monster!" And you don't obviously zombie acting has its. I don't know if it's just me, but personally, coming up with a character that actually talks to people and engages them is so much harder than just being a monster. That's easier to me personally. It does take some talent to do that, but it was a bunch of us kids back then, so it wasn't amazing actors I was with. I did a couple other small parts masked monsters, but nothing where I had to talk to people. The show went over pretty well, and I quickly became addicted to seeing my art up in action for a large scale show. It was like seeing my own museum piece, but it was alive and flourishing. So the next year I came up with Corhig's Freak Show. I got the name Corhig from a friend of mine who referred to his girlfriend as that name whenever she called him. I thought it was hilarious and seemed like a clown name, so I used it in my haunt area. I stayed up for days building that set. I even put a floor into the entrance and I painted the floor. Some nights I didn't even sleep. I just stayed up trying to build the best set I could with my building restraints, of course. The fire department was really up the ass of the town where that area was, so we had a lot of rules and regulations. My state isn't very haunt friendly. No walls over 6 feet tall, stupid things like that. Regardless of that, Corhig's Freak Show was a full-scale hit. My clown character had evolved from random trash crazy person to actual clown. My makeup was still very simple. The makeup team was busy a lot, so I had to do my own, and again, I really didn't have a lot of makeup experience. They had 2 people doing over 100 kids' makeup looks, and some of them were pretty complex, so I was kind of on my own to figure out what I was doing. I just did a white face with green lipstick and some cool costume contacts. That was the first year I wore them. My acting that year was so much better than the year before, and I really began to embrace my character. It wasn't until the year after that the show I had worked for went out of business that Doodlez got the style that you see today. I was told to give my character a makeover and make my makeup, more complex. And at that point, I had about 14,000 followers on TikTok, and I had been experimenting regularly with makeup because of TikTok. I got way more into the makeup stuff. I was learning my own style, and before, I had done cosplays before, but nothing that needed me to do anything crazy complicated with makeup, so I was like pushing my boundaries, like trying new things that I wasn't necessarily like, you know, familiar with previously. I was just, like, I was having fun with it. It was cool. So I took on the challenge of trying a more complicated clown look that I could apply regularly for shows. Like, for TikTok, for conventions, pretty much whatever needed me. I've even worn the character out while my bands played shows, and honestly, I love it. I feel, like, happier, way more confident when I'm in the costume, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Now I'm around like 30K followers on TikTok, which might not seem like a lot by today's standards, but for me, it's absolutely amazing. Like 30,000 people in one place, if you picture that, that's a flip ton of people, and to me, it's just like, wow. So yeah, I just kind of kept messing around with different looks to come up with the one that was right for me and the one that I was really proud of, and that's kind of how she became how she is now, and I'm really happy with it. I really am. Anyway, guys, that's a little background on my haunt life and my character evolving into what it is now and why I cherish her oh so much. If you like my content, leave me a like, throw me a sub, and I will see you next time. I promise. You're thinking it's written on your face. You know I'll never speak since my thoughts are up in space. We know nothing matters and soon everything will end. We're too tired and real to try and play pretend. Lost souls with no real place to go. Midnight and drunk at the show. Saw me